Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cooley. I am the Targeted Outreach Director for the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, also known as the FBI. Thank you for joining the webinar. I want to give everyone 1 minute to join before we get started. I know we have a lot of people registered, a lot of great information. So 1 more minute and we'll get started. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so again, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining our webinar. My name is Cooley. I'm the Targeted Outreach Director for the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. You are joining the Protect Yourself from Fraud webinar. Let's go ahead and get started. A lot of really great information. So first, a little bit of housekeeping. The views and opinions expressed in this presentation are those of the presenters. They do not necessarily reflect the views of the DFPI. This presentation is for educational and informational purposes only. This is not financial advice, and it does not replace any independent or professional judgments. The DFPI does not assume responsibility for the completeness of this presentation. This webinar is being recorded. Your microphones and cameras have been turned off. But if you do have any questions, please submit it into the Zoom's Q&A feature. We have a dedicated questions and answers session at the very end, and we'll answer as many questions as we can. One last thing, this webinar is being recorded, and we will be publishing it onto our YouTube channel. Everyone who registers will get a link to the YouTube video as well as a copy of the slides. Okay, jumping right in. What is the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, or the DFPI? Who are we? What do we do? The DFPI is California's licensing and regulatory agency of state financial institutions, products, and professionals. So that's like state chartered banks, credit unions, payday lenders, student loan servicers, broker dealers, investment advisors. We license and regulate those professionals and financial institutions. We also conduct exams to ensure compliance. We review consumer complaints that are submitted to us, and we pursue legal actions against those who are operating illegally or are using unlawful, deceptive, or abusive practices. One thing a lot of people do not know is that we also provide financial education and consumer awareness presentations throughout the state of California. With that, these presentations are free. They're also in person, or virtual. And they are on a variety of financial education topics. So protecting yourself from fraud is not just the only thing we do. We also talk about budgeting, building credits, buying a house, investing. So a number of different presentations that we offer. The DFPI also offers free educational publications on our website in multiple languages. So we do have physical copies, and you could also download them off our website. All you have to do to get copies of our publications, like physical paper copies, is to email us at outreach@dfpi.ca.gov. With that, I'd like to hand it over to Katie Caruso. She is one of our outreach specialists to talk more about the different protecting yourself from frauds and scams. Katie?
Everyone, thank you so much. We're really excited about the new release of our new Protect Yourself from Fraud booklet. We're going to go over just a few scams and fraud that happen to be in the book. So the first one we're going to talk about, I'm sure everyone's heard of the term phishing with a PH, when someone tries to digitally pose as someone else or another entity with the intent of always stealing your information, and usually always boils down to money. It could be through text, email, or of course, phone calls as well. It could be appear to be from your financial institution, a big box store, a a service provider, or even somebody that you may know, someone in your contact list. The bottom line is that you never really can be truly sure who is on the other end of that phone, email, or text. So never give out any personal information to anyone, no matter what they say. Be vigilant. If it seems like it could be legit, tell them, I'll call you right back on a phone number that you find that yourself. And remember that caller ID can be hacked or altered. See this photo? I doubt the FBI is calling this gentleman. Try not to answer the phone. Just let it go to voicemail. If it's important, they'll always leave you a message. I receive text messages and emails all day telling me either I won something or there's been some sort of security breach on one of my accounts. Don't click on any links that they provide. Contact the company directly if you're unsure. Slide.
Hi, this is Antonia. We'd like to highlight some more. First, I want to ask a question. Katie, what happens when you go grocery shopping when you're hungry?
I buy a lot more stuff than I usually would. I spend a lot more money.
This is a perfect example of what happens to our brains on stress, and even just a little bit of stress, like missing a meal before we go shopping. When we're stressed, our emotions take over and our logic goes offline. It's a neurological event. And scammers know this. They take advantage of this to their profit. If we look at this list of scams, most of these prey on one emotion or another. Most of them are fear, but romance sometimes is in fear. Sometimes people want to think they're in love and they don't want to be talked out of it. The research shows us we have an effective tool against this. It's pause. Take some time. If you can, sleep on it. Wait 24 hours. This allows the brain to reset so that you can make a financial decision on your terms. Next slide, please.
So that's a good point. Let's dig in a little deeper into this emotional sense when it comes to scammers. Now, here is an actual headline from a news article a couple of months ago off CNN. And as a parent, I can't imagine receiving a call like this from either of my kids. Scammers are now using artificial intelligence, we've heard it all on the news, to manipulate family members' voices to get you to act quickly and emotionally. They take the grandparent scam, or a new take on the grandparent scam, but it's even more convincing when you hear your loved one pleading and begging for help. That's because that is their voice. It's just manipulated. So it's the same scam, but just enhanced by this AI software. This particular headline came from a girl whose voice was cloned, literally begging her mother to pay a ransom to her kidnappers before they hurt her, or let's face it, even worse. Her mother called the police and they actually warned her that it could be a scam, but she was so convinced it was her daughter, she didn't believe them until the police finally got a hold of her and explained what was going on. And the daughter was busy at work. I think she was in a training, she said, and she had no idea that it was happening. And luckily, the mother didn't wire any money yet to the scammers. So a few tips, again, don't make a quick emotional decision. You always want to verify first. And I know that's hard, especially in this situation, because you're frantic and the scammers are literally banking on that fact. One tool to use is set up a password or passphrase with your family members, with your immediate family, just in case, and especially if the grandparent scam happens, you'll know what to do. You'll ask for that exact password that you set up with your family. And I personally know successful, educated people, men and women, who have been victims to this sort of scam, and it really can happen to anyone. Next slide.
Because the DFPI regulates people offering investment opportunities like brokers, dealers, investment advisors, we want to alert folks to investment fraud, particularly affinity fraud. These are kinds of investment scams that focus on groups of people religious groups, ethnic communities, senior groups, professional groups. And we want you to know the most common characteristics. This is called affinity fraud. There'll be unique but vague investments. There'll be secrecy involved. Don't tell my boss I'm giving you such a good deal. Or a Ponzi scheme, and a Ponzi scheme, which means that someone is taking the money from A, giving it to group B without making an actual legitimate investment. Katie, can you share an example of a fraud like this?
Yeah, actually, at the DFPI, right before the pandemic, we shut down an investment fraud scheme that allegedly collected more than $30 million from illegal land sales and other charges associated with resort style living. And it was a community literally in the nowhere in the middle of the desert in Southern California. And the scam targeted Filipino, Chinese, and Spanish speaking communities. So there's your affinity right there, the similar groups. And they really targeted them with high pressure sales tactics and of course a lot of false promises. So more than 2,000 investors were persuaded to pay up to $30,000 each for a parcel of land. Nothing was ever developed, and this is an actual photo from that land. Pretty scary. Slide, please. So let's switch and talk about another type of investment, crypto. We hear it all the time now. It really does seem to be the new exciting buzzword when it comes to making money. But before you jump on the bandwagon because your favorite celebrity is endorsing a crypto asset or product, we want to give you just a couple rules of thumb when it comes to crypto. And I'm actually going to read the first point because it really is important. So crypto assets and products that use them are not regulated to the same extent as US dollars and products that accept US dollars as payment.
It's important to remember that investing in crypto assets does not guarantee that you'll make money. If someone is promising big returns, that's a big red flag for a scam. A great tool is to do your own research. Gather information from more than one research. Do not just take their word for it.
Right. And to learn more about what crypto is and how we can help you, visit our website as well as other government websites as well. Also consider checking the DFPI's crypto scam tracker to see what consumers are actually reporting to us.
Don't rush into anything. Remember that emotion? Scammers prey on the fear of missing out. Next slide, please. Many of us are communicating and buying things and services online these days. Here are some tips. Remember that your personal information has value to scammers. Make sure you set your social media accounts to private. Limit your information that scammers can access, like your birthday, banking, credit card, and travel information. And speaking of travel, consider posting your vacation pictures after you return home so that thieves don't know when you're away from home. Next slide, please.
Those are good points, especially I see that on Facebook all the time, someone posting pictures. So yeah, definitely wait to do that. So speaking of being safe online, let's talk a little bit about cybersecurity. So up on top, you can see a browser there. Make sure you always have a secure connection when you're using sensitive information online, like either personal information or financial information. And there's always a padlock, and HTTPS, S for secure, will pop up in the browser when the network is secure. You can also buy a virtual private network or VPN for your home Wi-Fi device, and that adds a layer of encryption, and it makes it a lot harder for anyone to get into your network. I use one at my house, and I pay just a small monthly fee, and it really does give me peace of mind when me or my family is online. And the next one I wanted to talk about, bottom left, is two-step verification. Some people call it multi-factor authentication. So when you're signing into an account, you'll use your username and password as usual, but then there's just one more step that you have to take before you can receive access. You'll have to provide another code sent to you either by text, email, or even a phone call. So theoretically, no one can log into your account without being you. This feature is available on just about anywhere you shop online or have an account. So any Google products, Amazon, eBay, all email platforms, all social media, cable internet, cell service, financial institutions, literally almost everything you do online, you just have to ask for it. So just to explain a little bit more, because I think this feature is so important. Say that I'm about to complete my order on Amazon. And before I can check out, they have to send me a code via text message, and I have to enter that specific code before I can proceed. So it'd be almost impossible for someone to remotely get into one of my accounts without having access to my physical cell phone.
Passwords are great tools to protect yourself. Make sure to make yours as strong as possible. Like avoid something really simple like Becky123. You can make it a little complicated. If possible, use numbers and symbols. Save it somewhere safe, not like in this picture, and somewhere nondescript where people can't find it easily. And change it on a regular basis. Experts tell us that that's every 4 to 6 months. Next slide, please. Here are tools to fight against scams, robocalls, and emails. If you want, you can forward a scam email to the Global Anti-Phishing Working Group, which is the first bullet here. You don't need to send any other text or anything, just forward the email. With the Federal Trade Commission's website, it walks you through a complaint report based on your specific scam that you received, whether it's an email, text, phone, or a letter. You can report it directly to the FTC. And for information from the Federal Communication Commission about stopping unwanted robocalls and text, here's a link. And again, you'll have this all emailed to you in the website. Next slide, please.
And Antonia, before we move on, I wanted to tell you a funny story. When I first moved in with my husband, he kept all of our important documents, like hard copies, in a file that actually said confidential. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, are you crazy? What if someone breaks in our house? You know, that's the first thing that they're going to take. So we actually got a file folder and wrote on there grandma's recipes and put everything in there, because I doubt anyone would want to steal that. But I thought that was pretty funny. So submit a complaint. You know, speaking about reporting, we want to encourage you to submit a complaint or even a concern against any of our licensees using our online complaint portal. It's really easy to use, and I like it because you can actually see where your complaint is in the process. If the company or individual is licensed through another government agency, we're happy to forward it on for you. You don't even have to do anything. It's not going to get lost in the system. If you're unsure about filing a complaint, please remember that we want to know about unlawful and unlicensed practices. So please help us keep consumers safe by submitting a complaint. You can also call our toll-free number, and that's available in a lot of different languages as well. So make sure that you call anytime something just doesn't seem right to you, or you want to check a license, or for complaint information or just general information. And we're going to list that information for you at the end of this presentation. Slide, please.
To avoid fraud, remember, trust your instincts. If it's too good to be true, that's probably the case. Check somebody's license before you sign a contract. Call the department during regular business hours and ask if that person or that business or that company has a license. If you don't,
oh, sorry.
If they don't have one, don't do business there. If they tell you at a sales meeting, oh, I don't have the number, my coworker is going to bring it, walk away, walk out of that meeting. Every salesperson knows they're supposed to have a license.
Right. And don't forget about your credit report. You're entitled to a free credit report from each of the 3 credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, every single year. So review them once in a while to make sure that nothing appears out of the ordinary. And even if you know you're not going to be taking out another line of credit, maybe it's for an elderly friend or family member, consider using a credit freeze. It is reversible.
And for now, because of COVID, free credit reports are available actually every week until the end of this year. That's the end of this December.
Wow.
We want you to know, remember, please avoid a financial decision when someone is rushing you, pressuring you, when you're tired, hungry, emotional. Scammers are using this against you. Pause, wait, sleep on it. Wait 24 hours, give yourself a chance to reset.
And that includes going to the grocery store when you're hungry.
Okay, with that, we are now at the Q&A session. If you do have a question, please submit it through the Zoom's Q&A feature and we will answer it live. We have a few minutes here. The first question we got is, if someone stole my identity, what can I do? Katie Antonian?
Sure. You go to the Federal Trade Commission. There's a website actually dedicated to that, and it walks you through the process step by step. It's at Federal Trade Commission.
And these include sample letters to debitors, and they also cover different kinds of identity theft, medical, criminal, financial. So it's a great website.
Great. And I do want to add one more thing. If you do get your identity stolen, one of the best things to do is also go to all 3 credit bureaus and put a freeze on your credit so that whoever stole your identity can't open up new accounts, new bank accounts, credit cards in your name. So a lot of really great steps right there. Okay, next question. How does the DFPI help students with loans with scammers who are targeting them? I might take this question. So the DFPI has a student loan ombudsperson, Selena Damian. She's great. She works directly with students. I know right now with the payments happening in literally a couple of days, student loan repayments happening, there's a lot of scammers out there trying to take advantage of the situation. The best thing I could tell everyone is to do your research, right? Do not accept anything over the phone. Don't click on links. And go to studentaid.gov, log into your account, look at your loans, and there's a lot of different options you have available. There is nothing that you shouldn't have to pay for a service to manage your student loans or a service to help you negotiate or all your different options. All of that information is available for you for free. And if the company is trying to charge you a fee, or if they're saying they could discharge your loans, it's likely a scam. Do your research before you agree to anything. Okay. Next question. How do I stop getting so many robocalls? So there is a national do not call registry, and I believe if you there's a national, and just Google it, I don't have it off the top of my head, but the national do not call registry, you could actually register your phone number there to try to get away from so many telemarketers or robocalls getting to you. Scammers obviously don't care about the national registry, but any kind of businesses should have an updated database to exclude you from their calling list. Okay. Next.
And also remember that robocalls are illegal. So no matter if the company is legitimate or not, if it's a scam or not, we go to the Federal Trade Commission, that website that we showed you, and you're going to receive this so you can have a clickable link. But go to that and actually report them. And I see once in a while news articles that the Federal Trade Commission are actually going after these companies and actually charging them money, millions of dollars. So they are doing something, but you have to report it and let them know as much detail as you can. And it walks you through the process, what exactly they need and what they're looking for.
Perfect. Thank you, Katie. Okay, next question. Is it safe to click on and open a questionable email, even if you're not going to click on an embedded link in the email? So for the most part, again, for the most part, it should be okay. But so long as you don't download any attachments, click on any links in the email, for the most part, it's okay if you open an email that is questionable. But you know, there are exceptions to that rule. I don't want to say across the blanket. Again, if you're very if it's too questionable or too shady or too suspicious, I would avoid those type of emails. Most of the times you'll see it, right? It'll have some kind of offer. I've accidentally opened emails before, things that say, here's your insurance statement or something like that. Again, it's okay so long as you don't download any attachments or click on any links. Hopefully that was helpful. Okay, with that, it looks like we are out of questions. Again, if you do have any questions, please send it to you feel free to send it to us. Connect with us, make sure to stay connected. We have a toll-free number. You can email your questions to us. You can ask us for presentations. We partner with a lot of community-based organizations to do these things. Our email address is outreach@dfpi.ca.gov. Please subscribe to our monthly newsletter, which we publish every month. It's got a lot of great information, including events that are happening, and also consumer alerts, a lot of great consumer information. And finally, stay connected to us on social media. With that, I want to thank our two different presenters, Katie Carisco and Antonia Villaseñor. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day.